Out there in Rando Land, what's up, nerds? My name is Tyler Salt. I am here for SpeedGaming 2 in this League Pass Randomizer League playoff matchup between two titans of the community, Homemade Beer and Fear Agent of Beats from the East and Divine Beastie Boys. Like I said, my name is Tyler Salt. I am joined by the lovely and talented Clear Mouse. Clear Mouse, how are you?
Yo, Tyler, good. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it should be pretty dang exciting, actually. We've got two very well-known household names. How household can we get more than Homemade Beer, right? Literally has
That's
not
true.
left home. Yes.
Home's right there in his name.
Exactly. And hopefully, definitely looking forward to maybe some beverages after this match. But we've got a matchup facing off with Fear Agent. This I believe is the first one in their series playoffs.
Looks like it, according to the outline. This is the power match, game one, and we are playing some hard map compass shuffle. So we've got maps and compasses are wild, looking for those maps to find prizes, dungeon prizes. We're looking for those compasses for no reason whatsoever. We don't care about them because it's not an Randomizer. And we got a hard item pool. Clear, what do we have in the hard item pool?
So this is probably one of like the 30 different variations of hard, I think, but I believe this is what is available on the website, the quote unquote like more classic or standard hard item pool. So we are still limited, to Tempered Sword. We're limited, I think, to I believe there is blue mail, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, green mail only, I believe.
Okay, green mail only. All right. Okay. See, this is good to know.
Yeah, all the different hard item pools flying around there are a little confusing.
Yeah. So I think we are limited to 14 hearts, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah. So definitely gonna be just a little bit lower on the offense, lower on the safeties. But so there's reason why both Beer and Fear are in the Invitational playoffs, round one. These guys certainly probably don't necessarily need those really nice safety luxuries or whatnot. Quite capable of being able to handle any hard, or even like expert mode for that matter.
Starting out with a cool 100 rupees in Link's house.
Yeah, same opening round. Of course, right. This is open mode, as in we say that we actually see both, despite not having a sword, we are actually gonna go visit our uncle. With I guess just a sign to our name. Fear and Fear are both killing the blue guard. Although it looks like Fear got 5 extra arrows for his troubles. Tier 1 looks like it'll be blue rupees. So a little bit of extra cash, never gonna hurt. And probably going into Kakariko. We already got bottle vendor money, probably some bomb money as well, because without a real weapon, we don't really have anything else to kill things with.
Yeah, we'll find one of those eventually here. Let's talk a little bit while these guys are doing some early game checks. Talk a little bit about these two teams. Fear Agents, Divine Beastie Boys, of course, the #1 overall seed in the playoffs. They went 13-1. That's Fear Agent and Gamachu and Ramond. A big team here. Beats from the East is Homemade Beer, Jewel Ninja, and Moogle Charm. They went 7-7 and made the playoffs on a tiebreaker. So this could be Homemade Beer, a notorious memer here. So if there's one thing that you can say about him, so we might see some interesting plays here to try to get an advantage in this series against an opponent, a more highly seeded opponent, as you see. Beer headed right over to Saha.
Yeah,
right away.
Yep. I mean, and so this maybe we're taking maybe a page out of Julo's book, as well. This is not necessarily a uncommon opening or a early sequence, but if something is here at Eastern Palace and Saha area, it is it is certainly a really good edge and advantage to be able to come here for pretty soon. And talk about Beer being Beer and Mike, of course, are the main tournament admins for Avian Art, the memest of memest tournaments. By the way, there is, well, you know what, we got a lot of knowledge.
That was a cartographer, Saha.
Yeah.
There, we got 2 maps, a compass, and a knowledge about the green pendant at Tower of Hera.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So speaking of more compasses and maps, We got a compass in this case to Turtle Rock. As you mentioned, compasses aren't outside of Randomizer aren't going to be super useful. They are going to be able to let you see where the boss is, but probably at this point, given how much experience both Beer and Fear have, they probably don't necessarily need to use that compass inside the dungeon in order to find out where the boss is.
No, and some of them are nice. Some of those compasses are nice to have. They do give you the number of items that you've collected. It can be a Sphere going to the bottle vendor first, looking for bombs before going into Blind's Hut and Cackwell. Beer bought bombs, I believe.
Right, yeah, he decided to stop by the potion shop. The potion shop, the bomb/potion/shield shop. Right by Lake Hylia Island, because as we've seen so far, right, we've actually just really picked up some arrows, some money. We got a piece of heart. We got a book, but no real weapon.
Oh
and,
man, early book. We were just watching the Kermit Dante race in which early book was actually not bait for once, and had the mirror in Desert Palace. Will it be bait here? I always bite on early book, and it usually burns me. So we'll see what happens with these two.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of Randomizer. It for some reason the game knows, right? When you decide to chase the book, when you decide to chase the book, it decides not to reward you. But when you decide not to chase it, man, does it burn you? Oh yeah, it looks like actually, maybe Fear looks like, okay, so we're gonna take an alternate route, just because, you know what, we saw the mirror in the last game, in Pen and Desert, but you know what, today, we're gonna find that right here, yeah, we're gonna find that in the well. By the way, we already found 2 shields here.
2 shields in Kakariko. You love to see it. Big, if there are shield fans in the chat, shout out. Get those mirror shield emotes in chat.
Yeah, we also have a very suspicious cape. Of course, we don't have anything else related. Just the cape, no lamp, no sword, no 2 swords for that matter.
Aga threat level 1, I would say.
Yeah, but that cape though, I mean, you're certainly never gonna turn it down in terms of safety. It's probably one of the better safeties out there for you, especially, I mean, again, this is hard item pool. Technically, maybe you want a little bit more extra safety, but again, I have every confidence in Fear and Beer here.
I was just reminded, or I just remembered, don't put those mirror shield emotes in chat because this is hard item pool and you don't get the mirror shield.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
the best thing about hard item pool, no mirror shield.
Yeah, well, that just means that we're gonna be able to see the full, chicken sprite, on Beer's side instead of basically like this, the mirror shield, sprite.
Yeah. Fear, saving and quitting from inside Blind's Hut, and is going to skip or delay at the very least, with that mirror going to plan to check out race game and library perhaps on his way through the dark world a little bit later. To answer a question in chat, did Fear pick this mode? Yes. In the power player matchup, the higher seeded team chooses the mode, and that is Fear Agent.
Yeah, I think don't hold me to this, but I think Fear maybe chose it because it was slightly closer to like the keys version, because you got at least maps and compasses that are shuffled. By the way, Fear needs to be a bit careful. He is down to 3 bombs and 1 heart. With this being his only set of weapons, it's maybe a bit aggressive in order to try and kill mini Moldorms also. So it looks like he's gonna. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Fear is
today.
Yeah. That's right. No Fear. He has left his Fear at home. Where homemade beer is. We're just going to trek our way over to Ice Rod. Oh no.
Oh, and to an Octorok. That feels bad.
That one's pretty rough. Unfortunately, I didn't actually see what was on library, even though Beer.
Library was nothing.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, at least that part's not gonna burn, Fear for the time being for not having that. Also, just bombs on race game, so no worries here whatsoever.
All right, so Fear's gonna buy some bombs here. Gonna actually look at the piece of heart there on Lake Hylia Island, and then buy some bombs. Maybe go over to Saha, and then come back to South Shore a little bit later. Will Fear go into Eastern? I doubt it. But maybe taking that death in South Shore might push him that way. Say, all right, let's commit to this other place since that one didn't work out.
Yeah. Looks like, or it looks like Beer also is heading over to Mini Moldrum Cave. He is skipping the dam, I think, potentially for now. As you said, that early book, right, could be bait,
Yeah.
but maybe, maybe we're gonna do some Mini Moldrum into Ice Rod Cave, maybe, and then we'll try and combine dam with Akina later on.
This middle Mini Moldorm.
Yeah, he's not having any better luck here.
Between the two runners, it took 5 bombs to kill that one Mini Moldorm. That's pretty rough.
Alright, looks like we're in the magic prize pack, at least for the Mini Moldorm, so no magic items to have, to use, at least for the time being, except for the cape in terms of, but, alright, what do we got here? We got a shovel, that's somewhat noteworthy.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the only thing. So this early game, extremely empty so far. Fear now committing back over to Mini Moldorm. And Beer is going to skip Ice Rod Cave and go from Mini Moldorm over to the dam, and then presumably over towards Agina and Desert with that book.
Yeah, and we are skipping Ice Rod Cave, at least for the time being. So also does make, quite a bit of sense. We don't really have a pearl. Kind of be hard to kind of try and do some, fake flipper shenanigans. And, well, we're also just like, we're right at the cusp, right? Where we just have barely not enough Zora money. We don't really have a glove either.
Yeah, that's true.
To farm
no glove
anything.
to farm, yeah.
And so, maybe Beer is kind of hedging, right? Maybe, Gia's got something, maybe the dam's got something.
Dam has nothing as well.
Yeah,
so we're looking at desert, the desert area. We're looking at Ice Rod Cave, looking at eastern for our progression here.
Yeah, and then presumably, Beer's gonna check Agina. We can also certainly very much go into desert. We don't have really anything use. I mean, we can in this case check to see if desert is boots locked. Unlike the race that we had, Dancy versus Kermit, we do not have starting boosts. We do not, in this case, just have easy access, in this case, to desert. So
we also don't know if desert is a crystal or pendant at this point.
That's very true.
We've got some maps, but I believe all of those. Oh, Moon Pearl in Agina.
Oh, yeah. All right. So whether or not that book was actually bait in or to lure you to desert doesn't matter, because it lured us over to Agina, which is very, very much required.
Let's see, Ice Rod Cave. This is a big check for both of our runners. Beer has not been over there and would have to get there at a different time. And it's the glove.
Oh, it's a glove.
Ooh, big pull for Fear Agent.
Yeah, we'll talk about we're going to be able to farm money now. Yeah, we're going to be able to farm money. Okay, I think there's 10 bombs on the desert ledge. Is that right? Something useless.
That was it was the Uncle Bombs up on the ledge. Fear Agent taking that glove here to back of escape first. I like this real quick.
Yeah, right. Open mode. We don't automatically just do the back of escape at the beginning of the race.
Right, exactly.
We have to come back here the hard way. Alright, well, good thing these rats are better well behaved than the Mini Moldorms. They don't really get in your way much. They just kind of, stand there and look at you. Alright, bombs, piece of heart, and a heart container. It's
not much there, but at least it's done.
Yeah, sadly, that's the important part. And it was all items for what it's worth. Ooh, interesting.
We do have a boots locked desert. So not sure if it's gonna be hard boots locked, and Beer is not gonna show us. He is walking out to get those 10 bombs, I guess.
Yeah, looks like it. I mean, so at this point, right, we kind of even saw on Fear's side too, right? There's not a lot of money available, so he's probably looking. He's got 3 bombs, still apparently our only weapon, to our name. So no real harm in this case for picking up some extra resources, especially if we want to try and save some money. He doesn't know about the glove and Ice Rock Cave, right?
Right, and maybe thinking about a back of escape play here, or a front of escape, a bomb escape here, perhaps from Homemade Beer.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, we're gonna check the shovel.
No, check the shovel. That makes sense. Yeah.
Shovel, by the way, infinite free resources, so long as you are willing to, believe in the luck of the lucky shovel. Some runners are better at this than others. I will say.
I've had to dig for arrows before Ganon's Tower exactly once in my rando career, and it did not work out very well. Oh, there's the other glove! Oh no, that's actually super bad for Beer. That's really, really bad for Beer. Who knows when he is going to get back to Ice Rod Cave for what will be his mitts?
Well,
whereas Fear is going to get those.
Right, so we don't know where our other like Dark World access piece is, right? I mean, so like we could just basically be locked here in the Light World until Beer kind of goes over there. Because unless he finds a hammer, basically, right? Maybe he decides to go to Eastern or something. But it's certainly going to be a good question as to when Beer decides to go back to Ice Rock Cave, right? That's kind of like one of the downsides, right, of doing Mini Moldorm into, the dam plus Agina is unless you have the flippers or something, it is really hard to get back there. Flippers or flute or something, right?
Yeah, you need flippers or flute to be able to route that back in there. Fear is gonna walk over here. Doesn't have the small key. To get get these items is to take the east exit to have a quicker walk back to Agina to get his Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
Beer's headed up the mountain, I think, here.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. We can sequence break out the mountain. It's gonna be, it's gonna be pretty dark. We don't have a flashlight. We don't have a lamp. We don't have electricity in Hyrule, so we don't have any type of light source. The screen is going to be temporarily black. Beer knows this, but as a chicken, he has left his fear at home.
Birds can see in the dark. That's well known.
That's why there are like roosters up before the crack of dawn, right?
Exactly, because they
know,
can see in the dark.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Fear about to get his mitts and will be the first runner into the Dark World. Looks like Beer's in a Dark World here, but it's just a dark cave.
Yeah, and so Beer has probably done this hundreds if not thousands of times. It is probably on the easier side in terms of dark rooms. It would be very preferable in this case to have some sort of boomerang or sword or something to kind of help you guide your way through, but it's a relatively safe dark room in this case to do.
Fear smartly taking those 3 hearts that he can get from the old man as Fear Agent digs up his mitts and is continuing to walk out of here. So we'll see where... he's going to do Library and Dig Game here because he didn't before. So that actually works out pretty well for Fear.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to go straight, he's in Kakariko. He's probably going to take the portal straight up into Dark World, right?
Makes sense. Yeah. Successfully dodging Escape and Eastern Palace for now.
Yeah, for now. Those are the key words. For now.
Yeah.
But as you said before, this is Map Compass Shuffle. Specifically the map shuffle part. We still don't know whether or not, in this case, desert is a crystal or pendant, Eastern is a desert or pendant. We are going to kind of have to see. We may never go into Eastern or desert again. We find out that they're pendants.
All right, red. There was a red crystal at Pod. I did not catch Mire or Swamp.
They all look like crystals, but I would never trust my vision. I would only trust Cassidy's in this case, our tracker.
3 bombs on Ether Tablet. So looked like a regular crystal at Misery Mire at the very least. We'll see if Fear does a map check here. And a regular crystal at Swamp as well.
Sweet. Oh man, speaking of no other weapons of any type to our name, we're here in Hera. More bombs, but you know what? Speaking of, we've got a thing that hits switches now with the hook shot.
That's spicy.
Super convenient in order to do Hera pots. Too bad we still don't have a weapon of any type in order to go kill Moldorm.
I don't think you Hera pot here.
By the way, Fear has immediately dove into Skullwoods. Now, okay. For those of who are either avid Skullwoods dippers, in which case you're happy to see Fear here because there's probably progression, etc., in the front of Skullwoods.
Yeah.
Or the fact that Fear does not have a weapon. Have you ever tried to just lift all the bushes one by one in order to try to get to the Village of Outcasts?
No, you always go. Yeah, if you don't have a sword, you're even more. To my money, I'm even more likely to go into Skullwoods here, so I don't have to walk through those stupid bushes.
Yeah, it is pretty awful. Speaking of though, so I know Fear has definitely been practicing some of his NMG. We are here at the easiest room in the game, quote unquote, for Skullwoods Middle Big Key Chest. Fear,
no boomerangs.
No boomerang, no Kata Samaria. Very excellent job in order to go get that bottle.
A nice bottle. We can pick that up with a good B and check out Lazy Kid here on our way through the Village of Outcasts as Fear heads into the top of of Paradox Cave here. Nothing too much down in the bottom there. The flippers, that's good for beer. Might push him back towards Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, looks like we already got our first green 20. Maybe a shield,
Probably
maybe a mirror shield, right? Maybe
might have been
maybe
shield or a mail upgrade. Yeah.
You know, I think Beer honestly is probably happy to see those 20 rupees because again, you know, he's lacking Zora money. Every little bit's gonna help him.
Every little bit helps. Yeah. Chat making a good point. Of course, this being map compass shovel, every dungeon has 2 items additional than it would in a non-shuffled mode. And so Skullwoods has the opportunity to have more goods than it usually does.
We'll just leave it at this. Whatever percentage of likelihood you think Skullwoods has in terms of value, it is double that, right? So if you think Skullwoods has a lot of high value at the beginning, then you should definitely go in.
Yeah.
If you don't, the multiplier may not be as effective. Is all I'm gonna say.
Not much early though.
Yeah. So we do have a bottle. So and we have a mirror, so we can check Sick Kid once we go over to the Village of Outcasts, which is pretty cool. But yeah, in terms of other things, I think we found a bomb. All right, Beer also, or not Beer, Fear checking Bumper Cave. We do have that cape very early on, so it could be suspicious. We're sure this is also not like swordless, right? Like they just haven't been lucky enough to find one, right? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Beer's hula-hanning here.
Yeah, he is really concerned, I think, looks like, about his rupee count. And understandably so, right? I mean, in this case, I think we haven't really found anything, left, right?
Yeah, maybe the hook shot only led to the flippers over there. So.
Right, yeah. And we could, I mean, he may be thinking pod, as we get into Dark World 2 later on, right? Yeah, and, the hooligan certainly makes a lot of sense. Fear Agent did get 300 rupees in the front of Skull, which actually, could be some value. Especially in this case, he doesn't have to pull a hand, but, of course, Fear doesn't know that. Ooh, Fear
fluffing his item count by picking up a compass.
I will never complain if you pick up a compass. I believe in compasses.
Ooh, Beer continuing to skip Ice Rod Cave. If the hammer's in the Dark World, Beer will get there soon enough. But yeah, I don't know why you do Zora first in this situation.
Yeah, we got another green 20. All right, so technically, Beer, in order to afford Zora, does not necessarily need that hula hand. But again, he doesn't.
Yeah, at least we got pot money as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chest game money.
Yeah. He's basically set for the rest of the game for sure. Yeah, and and you also do make a good point. If we kind of do stumble upon the hammer, in some of these, like Hobo, maybe has a hammer, right?
Hobo or Zora does, yeah.
Yeah, like that Ice Rod Cave could be, pretty isolated.
That's a last location if we find the hammer in the light world. And we still have Beer still has all of the Front of Escape and Eastern to look for it. So
very, very good point. Yeah, these are, and again, we don't have starting boots. I mean, Beer could find boots, make this trip a little bit faster, but yeah, like these are going to be kind of time investments, where he still has, as we say, he has a lot of other options to chase, before going back to Ice Rock. Speaking of, there's another incentive that Beer is not going to have. Beer Agent just found the flute in the brewery. Super convenient, right? Checking Sick Kid, checking flute right here. And as you predicted, Tyler, we're gonna see the Front of Escape here from Beer.
Yeah, this makes sense. You don't want to go into Eastern Palace without a bow if you can help it. But obviously we know that Beer needs to make his way to Ice Rod Cave sooner rather than later. But this, from Beer's perspective, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, so we did see, right, and we saw 3 items at the back of Escape, right? So we know that there is a small key floating around here somewhere. I guess maybe the hope is that it's going to be, in Dark Cross, so we just have to go basically through this entire thing. Like all the way to Zelda Cell, and then we don't have to ever touch Dark Cross again. That would be kind of nice.
That's true, yeah. There's an extra item in Escape because no
right, because it's map compass shuffle, right? So like the map, I mean the map to Hyrule Castle they could both be in the front of Escape. We don't know that,
sure.
But it's just
that'd
not
be weird, but it could happen.
Yeah.
All right, Fear Agent headed into a Thieves Town here. At least going to do the front 4. No items that we can use. No sword. No canes of any sort. No way to kill blind. So just the front first here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, picking up another safety. You know, we got powder, we got a fairy in a bottle. We also have a gold bee for what it's worth.
What it's worth is 100 rupees.
Yes, that is true. I was also thinking, you know, that we also don't have a melee weapon or anything that does physical damage. You know, the bee is here for us. That is where the bee is gonna really shine, literally, as a good bee. All right, we see the common, or sorry, more commonly seen 2-pot strat. It is just a compass here in Zelda Cell.
But that does mean that the small key is in Darkross.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. That's actually, you know, like, right, you actually much rather, even if it's a useless item, all right, you actually much rather be the item as opposed to the small key, because then you gotta what, Death Warp, or sorry, you gotta mirror, you gotta go all the way to Darkross, and without the boots, and it's quite the journey.
All right, this is Hobo, at least for Beer, still avoiding Eastern Palace as Fear Agent picks up the frog. Gonna turn him into a real boy.
Yeah. I mean, so this is certainly, I mean, still out of logic technically, you know, for Beer, because we did find the flippers, you know, up on the mountain, right? We don't have access to that quite yet.
Right.
But I was thinking though that, you know, with the flippers, with the mirror, and Beer with Dark World access especially, it could be a much faster check for him. But of course, you know, it's kind of like looking at both sides type of thing.
Beer, please.
All right, just a heart piece on a Hobo. Nothing that Beer is looking for. All right, we're starting a Sank. Where are we going?
Where are we going?
I am trying to think of what is actually over here.
Whirlpool portal to Ice Rock Cave.
Gotcha.
All right.
Oh, nice job. Beer is really thinking this. Yeah, I think
this. It might be faster just to swim from Hobo.
You know, if you've already saved and quit out of Hobo, right? I mean, this is actually some pretty nice overworld routing.
There's no way that this is faster. I think unless you saved and quit like as a reflex, and then like, oh wait, no, crap. Then this is the fastest way to get to Ice Rock Cave, probably. But it definitely doesn't feel faster.
Maybe he wanted some more thinking time, right? You know, it's just like anything of the time, right? You know, if you need some direction as a runner to go. I'm also really impressed, by the way. But Beer has actually prioritized the Smith chain amazingly. Hey, I mean, he has not been a fan of it.
If in my experience from the final 2 races that my league team played in the playoffs this year, your go mode's on Smith chain, so never skip it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
both those races were losses. So.
I see. Yeah, well, you know, Beer has really been, you know, a more vocal proponent of not doing Smith chain, or at least not acknowledging its existence. So, you know, very interesting to see that kind of Fear did this early on the earlier side. Also, as observed in chat, we are seeing Beer immediately dive Dark Death Mountain.
I like this. Yeah, I like this. It's you're basically last location in the midst, other than Eastern Palace. Go chase one. You have the hook shot. Maybe you like that's out of logic. So maybe it's like, all right, where's the lamp? Where's the flute? Let's run up here, see if we can't jump something.
Right. And Beer knows at some point we're gonna find something, and if it happens to find, in this case, a flute or a lamp up here, it's gonna give him a bit more knowledge as to where that potential, you know, his actual mountain access will be. Meanwhile, so Fear actually does have to pick up his 3rd bottle, another safety. I think Fear at this point is pretty invincible.
with the mirror and a free blue in there, makes a lot of sense. Now, Fear is headed back to Village of Outcasts here.
Still swordless. Apparently, this is apparently what, you know, both runners signed up for. Swordless map compass shuffle.
Yep, that's a mode.
Did you happen to catch what the medallion was?
It's Quake for both dungeons.
Cassidy is 100% on it. I see it lit up already. Okay, so that is gonna be a medallion we're gonna have to go chase today. Looks like potentially we may need bombos as well. You know, we don't really know where that fire rod is. We don't really know the status of Ice Palace.
There's a
We have a
bow.
bow though. Time for Eastern.
Hey, and the OK Boomerang. Let's go.
Mm.
Seat is free.
Yeah. As you mentioned, the fact that Beer kind of, well, in this case, kind of isolated his Dark World access, with the. Dude, that was awesome. It was the bow and the boomerang and the hook shot all at once, basically.
Good job there, Beer.
Yeah, it almost looked like he had silver arrows out from the sparkles from the red boomerang.
Pro gamer
Mhm.
strats.
Oh, that was so good. But yeah, but it looks like, Dark Death Mountain for him, as you said, I think it was actually very good. I've already kind of done the previous, the initial investment. This certainly let me kind of go chase it.
Right.
Try to get like maybe a hedge onto, maybe trying to make up some lost time. Does the compass on race game, or not race game, dig game, Fear did not unfortunately pick it up. Probably too many text boxes. Wanted to beat out the text box that says, "Oh, time's up." Save a little bit of extra time there.
Alright, we got a mirror check here for Cave 45 and Stumpy.
Yeah, as of course also another consequence of having myths only a Dark World access, unlike the previous seed, that we saw, where the hammer was a significant item of convenience to be able to row around the Dark World. We got our one portal. And not even the Agro portal. We got our one Kakariko Village Valcast portal.
Myth's Dark World access is the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, and especially without boots, without a sword. I mean, we're like, if you want to go anywhere in South Dark World, this is your one and only path, basically.
We're almost 30 minutes in, and we don't have a hammer or a sword yet, which is not great.
Yeah. At this point, we are still on bombs as our primary weapon. Like, we do have a hook shot, which is great. It does instantly kill some enemies, right? But it's like, literally, what do we have left? we have no Samaria. We have no rods. I guess we have a bow. From
Beer has the bow.
That's out of logic. But I mean, like, come on, like, where's a sword, dude?
Yeah, we're using rocks here.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so another kind of consequence here of being swordless. Also, I'm not sure how. Oh, jeez, that Bari, dude, like.
That was a heads-up hook, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also don't know. I mean, I assume Beer is pretty comfortable with the chicken sprite, just because it is a little on the shorter side, but maybe he's not. Like, it's a little bit harder to kind of line yourself up. If you want to do a bomb jump without a sword. Alright, so we're still making way. In the front of Skull was on Beer's side. He already's gotten most of his value, I think, in terms of items. We just see in this case a confirmation that the boomerang does not stun beetles, but the hookshot does.
Yep. Fear's gonna be giving us our first look at Hype Cave here. We'll see if it is hype today, or at least hype in this race. It was pretty hype in the last race.
Yeah. Alright, we're starting out with a 20 rupee, so we've got like pod money like out the wazoo.
This is where Saha keeps the rest of his maps.
Yeah, apparently.
0 out of 10 hype for that.
Oh my god.
No hype. Negative hype.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have a lot of good things. Right, okay, so where's our stuff? Like, is it just an Eastern at this point?
It's just an Eastern.
Okay.
Eastern, yeah. It's just an Eastern.
like
we have logical access to pod as well with the flippers. So I imagine that's where Fear is headed next. Our red crystals in Thievestown and pod.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
right,
saves and quits.
Yeah, it looks like Fear is gonna opt to not continue. So we can, as you mentioned, with the flippers, we can basically dive straight into Dark Lake Island and then kind of take a swim. We can also take a swim up north with our myths. But Fear has other ideas. He does have the flute from the Village Valcast.
Oh, Fear doesn't have the flippers yet, of course, because those are up.
Oh, he hasn't been up the mountain. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, Mugo. Where are we going? We're gonna do some flipper checks. So we're gonna do right. So Fear has more. He has rupee. He has Zora money twice now. Only Zora's gonna sell you. He's only gonna sell you one thing, and that's it. But yeah, it's certainly probably gonna be on his mind. Of course, with the Moon Pearl now, he can actually do all this stuff. If they flip into this place. Oh, goodbye,
and get a free potion here from Waterfall Fairy. It is blue. You'll love to see that.
Yeah, that's true. So Fear Agent now has a fairy to bottle and 2 blue potions. That is
and
safe.
didn't have to pay for either blue potion.
Mm-hmm.
So Beer is Homie Beer is going to get his flute here in Village of Outcasts. We'll see how much Thieves Town he does. Again, probably just the front 4, since we don't have the hammer, or for that matter, anything else that can heal blind.
Yes, that is a very important observation. We still don't have any weapons in order to basically kill any bosses. Other than the bow, of course, we can go kill Armos. But right now, we're really hurting for some sort of thing we can hold in our hands and swing. Hammer, sword, second sword, third sword, fourth sword. That's gonna be 20 rupees. But you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, the spirit of the weapons, you know, is very strong here.
All right, where's Fear headed? To the mountain, going to get his hook shot, his flippers, and his bow up here.
Yeah, and then presumably with the bow, we know Fear is probably going to make his way over to, in this case, like the Pod Eastern area. He has not been over there. Both Fear and Fear have done Saha, but no one has decided to go to Eastern Palace. We actually do see that Fear, he has a ton of money, so he's not really afraid of basically, wasting, or using a couple bombs here for echolocation. But
yeah,
that's definitely one thing.
He can buy more bombs in Paradox Cave.
Exactly.
If he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's like, because in this case, it's rescuing the old man is still considered out of logic, right? Because we don't have the lamp yet, so you're certainly not expected to do that dark room. But you certainly don't want to get lost if you decide to go in.
All right, I would not be surprised at this point, given what Beer has done, for him to make. Well, he's going to activate this flute first. But
yeah, I think activating flute, checking the kid. Or we're gonna go straight.
The flute. He's not gonna activate the flute right away.
He might be grabbing. Never mind. I was gonna say he might be grabbing the smith, but he might be simply grabbing the smith. If you're gonna do that,
you do dig game first.
Right.
Oh yeah, and if you're gonna return the smith, then you're gonna be mirrored back to the White World anyway. So that makes sense. And perhaps he's thinking, like, without the hammer, these are the only. The Village of Outcast portal is the only Dark World access that we have, so he's probably thinking also, listen, I'm probably gonna go swim over to Pod and Eastern on this loop anyway, and without the hammer, the flute doesn't, like, help you speed that up. He's also got Magic Bat to do, so he can activate it along with some of Smith Chain.
Oh yeah, good point. Right, and you actually bring up a very important point. Is that without the hammer, the flute is actually, in order to try to get back into Dark World, is actually significantly less effective. For the reason you exactly mentioned. Basically, every single portal that we want to enter in is hammer locked because there are pegs along them. And so if you want to get to Pod and you flute over to 5, you're gonna be very sad. Because to get to Pod if you don't have the hammer is quite the trek. Ooh, looks like Fear though. So we didn't see Beer do this when he was up here. Beer decided to just basically bail after the hook shot. Fear, looks like he also gave a one shot for Herapod, and then
I think Fear was 1 pixel too far to the right on that. But maybe give it one quick shot. If you get it, you can go up there and maybe get the second item out of there. You know that Moldorm's pendant. So maybe you're not too worried about whether you can beat him anyway.
Yeah. Oh, she also saw that Fear is actually a bit more conscious now of his bomb count. We saw him trying to lift a couple rocks in order to get a bomb. If he, I'm sure he knows about the shop here, but maybe he's trying to get like a freebie.
Yeah.
Yeah, as of course.
Beer, by the way, Beer losing his portal, giving up his portal to check Magic Bat here, so is isolating Cave 45 Stumpy and Hype Cave.
Yeah, looks like it. Although, what we did see on Fear's side that all of that stuff was not worth your time whatsoever. So at least it's not going to hurt Beer for the time being.
Yeah, it's just going to hurt Beer later when he goes for them.
Yeah. Ah, yes, that's right. Picking up the purple chest after getting in somewhere is one of the more difficult jobs of this game. But he's gonna activate his flute, and then he's gonna turn the purple chest just like Fear did, and then I guess we're gonna see where he decides to head off to next. Maybe straight back over and just finish up the the Dark World stuff, and then then go to Hype Cave, maybe go into Pod over at that point, or
I mean,
just
Pod Eastern. We know that at this point we know that Pod Eastern is the play, right? Like. Oh, and he's gonna go right back into the Dark World and walk. Oh no,
yeah, he's gonna turn to the purple chest. I'm actually wondering, if he maybe just wants to dive Eastern immediately, instead of like trying to go and like around the long way to Pod.
Yeah, without a hammer, maybe you're less interested in trying to combo the two.
Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, I mean, of course, how many times have we've seen hammer and Pod, right? A million.
Right.
But there's also, of course, also no guarantee. Alright, but looks like we're just gonna swap in locations, right? So Fear's already been over to, the Meyer area with that early flutes, which of course Beer is gonna do now. Fear is... Okay, I'm gonna try and say Fear Agent and Homemade Beer. It's just gonna be much easier to listen to. So Fear Agent here is on Dark Death Mountain, and he's gonna basically do all the same thing that Homemade Beer decided to do earlier.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that because that's too many syllables. So I'm just gonna say Fear and Beer and
yeah, Fear and Beer. Yeah, just hope that we enunciate the consonants very clearly.
y'all can figure it out with context clues, I'm sure. Fear is about to get his bow up here in Hookshot Cave, and I imagine gonna head over to a full clearable Eastern Palace. Lamp might be over there.
Yeah, and actually, depending on where the big key is in Eastern Palace, right? It actually very well still could be. Well, I guess maybe it also depends on this case, like where the fire rod is, but it could not necessarily be lamp locked, right? Could just be fire rod locked. Fear has turned in the purple chest. We are back in Village of Outcasts in our one and only Dark World portal. So this could be, so of course this could be Beer finishing up a South World route, as we said, because, when he was trying to do Magic Bat, he did have to lose his portal, unfortunately, because he didn't have the hammer. Looks like maybe this is going to be continuation on to finishing, K45, Stumpy, Hype Cave, and then maybe on to Eastern Pod. Well, Fear... had to suffer the same fate as Homemade Beer when he was up here in Spiral Cave. We're gonna hold all the different cardinal directions today in order to get through this cave, in order to get our heart piece.
So a full circle.
Yeah, and then some, right? It's like That's a swirl, right? But yeah, that's right. So okay, we're expecting how many swords in Eastern? We're expecting 2 swords in Eastern. We're expecting the hammer and Pod. We're expecting what Samaria gonna be. We need a lot of stuff here.
Still need a lot of stuff. 2 swords, hammer, probably a fire rod, probably the cane.
So I also just did realize, looking at
the boots probably.
The boots would be ideal. We did see that Desert is boost locked.
Right.
But of course we still don't know if Desert is a crystal or pendant. I was actually just looking at the tracking job that Cassidy has done so far for us. So can we dip the first Desert Swamp?
We sure can, and nobody did on their first way through here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised that Beer didn't. Not gonna lie, that seems like a very Homemade Beer thing to do.
Yeah, he may well do this after Hype Cave. I guess we don't know. We certainly did not see Fear Agent do this when he was over here early. But speaking of those, so Fear is in Eastern Palace. He didn't come here the Dark World way, right? Like
he just fluted to 5.
All right.
Came over.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is gonna be a Eastern exclusive dip, no combination with Pod. But of course, we think that the likelihood of something being here is quite good. Now, of course, if Fear just finds the hammer in Eastern, like, all our problems are solved,
Everybody feels bad at that point, yeah. And Beer is making the swamp play. Thank you, Beer, for staying on brand. I appreciate that.
Here we go, yeah. I don't know whether or not how much of this is influenced, by his earlier consequence of last location his mitts and ice rock cave. I don't know if this is always kind of Beer's priority, or this is something that he likes to do. But either way, we're gonna see this. And of course, if this happens to be the hammer, dude, Beer is like paying out.
Oh man, can you imagine?
This is one of those
the mental damage that would result.
Yeah, I mean, right. This is one of those scenes where you're just like, can we please have a spoiler log and I have a pilot to try to help me get through the scene?
Right. So far, nothing of note in Eastern. We did have the big key early. The big key chest and Armos are going to be out of logic without the lamp or fire rod. Big key chest out of logic without the lamp, period. The Armos out of logic without either fire source. Just a big 20 there in Swamp Palace, so no big
looks
memes
like unfortunately
for that.
no major payout for Beer, just 20 rupees payout. It is just pocket change. Hopefully that's not going to be like a Christmas bonus or something. It seems really skimpy, in terms of salary. Alright, so of course we also do see that one of the biggest reasons why people like to skip the middle big key chest in Eastern Palace, because it just takes so long to get over here. Oh, but it's the hammer!
Wow!
Where is
that lamp?
Yeah, where is
Lamps
the
and
lamp?
pod. Lamps and pod.
Oh, okay, alright, that's fair. That's actually probably fair.
Lamp's just in pod.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
Well, so let's just bask here in the value of Eastern Palace.
You're going to catfish via the whirlpool here. Beer has not been to Eastern Palace. That's correct.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Yeah, but both Beer and Fear, however you want to take the pronunciation, both did kind of an early Saha check and then decided to skip out on it.
Yeah, this game is free. If you can imagine that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but other Beer, despite not having basically any weapons, he made it to the dark room, with the Igor actually, quite well.
Yeah, that dark room is not super bad. If you mess it up initially, you can just pretty easily get back outside of the room to as Fear gonna take another cycle here in Zelda Gamer Room. Yeah, to have to go through and I forgot what I was saying. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop talking.
No. I mean, right. I mean, like, you're absolutely right in that, like, if you do mess up the
oh, it's easy to reset that room.
Yeah, you can definitely.
That's what I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I think Fear also has a lot of just like mental confidence, just because he's on such high health, right? Is it kind of a difference between you go inside with 10 hearts versus like 3 hearts, because you can't mess up.
Eastern Palace is a pendant.
All right. Okay. So we did see in this case. Yeah, as you mentioned, it is a pendant. So we certainly did. Okay, unless of course there are some further Lost Woods end game shenanigans kind of going on. That Armos kill was not strictly necessary. However, Fear was already there. Right. He's already picked up the hammer from middle of Big Key Chest in Eastern Palace. Like, it's not that much further to go to go kill Armos.
So Fear is now, this is actually, I think, really, really smart for Fear. Fear, instead of going straight to pod, half of which is still out of logic without the lamp, Fear instead, as we see, Skull Woods is also a crystal here, so we are going to need that fire rod. Fear is headed to Thieves Town thinking, I think maybe that lamp is in the back of Thieves. Now with that hammer, we can finish Thieves Town entirely, I think that this is a place where the lamp could show up as well. We have to do this. We've got the flute now. I think I really like this play from Fear Agent right here.
Yeah, and the fact that so we are still bootsless, for what it's worth. But I was also thinking, so we're also, more importantly, still swordless. Blind with the cape and the hammer seems significantly more palatable than facing off against Helma and doing dark rooms.
Yeah, that's true too. Whereas Beer is locked into being in pod and Eastern for the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Going there in the dark world, going to clear as much as he can of the front of Pod here, and then gonna have to double dip it to take down Helma because the hammer, of course, is in Eastern Palace. Lamp could be here in Pod though, just as easily as it could be in Thieves Town.
Yes. Yeah, but it looks like right. So Beer's gonna do Pod first. Very understandable, of course. You know, there are gonna be potentially more items here. You know, in Pod. We did see, of course, Fear pull out the hammer from Middle Bicky Chest in Eastern Palace. So Beer is not gonna be able to make probably as much efficiency running progress. But
no, he will have to double dip Pod, but can get everything else.
Right. Yeah, he just like can't like hop down like the Bowlock side, right? He's gonna have to mirror out and stuff like that. So it's gonna be maybe a little bit extra time, but at least he doesn't, as you said, doesn't have to leave the area, right? Because
But without boots, right? It jumping down from the right hand side, from the Bowlock side. Oh, as we find the Fire Rod, that's good. That puts a little bit more Pod in logic. With you room in logic, not the Dark Maze.
Right, the Rupee basement.
Yeah,
they're definitely Yeah, they're definitely torches in that room.
Yeah, without the boots, I think jumping down from bow side is significantly slower because you can't do that little bonk back over the gap, or without the red cane, so you can't do the staircase extension to get to the back. I think that in this particular case, you're not losing a whole bunch of time by mirroring here over maybe coming through with a hammer.
Yeah, thank goodness we found the mirror. Without the mirror, I think this place is awful.
Google asking the important questions in chat. Who had hammer blind at the 50-minute mark on their bingo card?
At least Spear has the cape. I mean, this is kind of like inverted vibes all over again. But, you know, the difference being that Fear has like 10 hearts, you know, versus like the 3 or 4 that you're coming into in inverted. We have not seen the lamp quite yet. I think it would be quite, you know, quite the meme, by the way, and very fitting if Beer ends up finding the lamp like on the, you know, like in the Rupee basement. You know, if that's fire unlocked.
And we know actually, blind is hammerlocked because the small key is in the big chest.
Hey, look!
And so, was there the lamp there?
Yeah, there was. It was so close.
Classic.
Yeah, it was in the compass chest. So not quite the fire locked one, but pretty close.
Just in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in time. So Beer is going to come out of this trip, and there's the ice rod too. So we got both rods now.
Yeah, both rods here in both rods and fire sources in Pod. All we need is bombos for our collection, and then we should be all good.
And bombos is just an ice palace. So.
Oh, true. We can't basically discount that part. That is true. All right, so in this case, you know, so Fear successfully took down his first crystal at the as Chad has pointed out, 50-minute mark, basically. Still swordless, by the way, because exactly what, you know, people sign up for. They're like, yeah, I want to do hard MC shuffle, and you know,
I don't want to play. Swordless is one of the options for these players.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not playing swordless. We're doing hard MC shuffle. Enter the randomizer with no swords going on an hour into the seed.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Saha bot was like, yeah, you know what? How about multiple playoff modes combined into one seed as opposed to, you know, separate ones, right?
That's just efficiency, right?
Yes, exactly. All right, so Beer did take he got a lot of value out of Pod. He got Fire Rod, he got Lamp, he got Ice Rod. Still no weaponry, you know, no either cane, no Verna, no Samaria, no sword.
Fear is going into Swamp Palace.
All right,
and this is a play.
I mean, he has everything in this case to take out Swamp Palace. I think.
Oh, that's right. We got the hook shot. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
this is full clearable. Never mind.
Yeah.
And
of course, right. You know, okay, so can we still go by the meme? You know, how many swords do we think is in Swamp Palace?
How many swords are in Swamp Palace?
Three, 4.
All 4 of them.
Okay. All right. Good.
And the second pair of mitts.
Exactly. Right. Also boots. You know, left side swamp. Let's just throw them in there to make it interesting. For how Fear has been playing so far, he has been quite thorough. I think the only thing we saw that he didn't pick up was the compass at Dig Game. I mean, he even picked up the compass at Graveyard Ledge, right? So I certainly would imagine that he would do left side. Alright, so we did see Beer do this earlier when he was hammerless. We had the first chest of Swamp, of course, in Logic. It was only, as Beer is just confirming here, 20 rupees.
Beer did dip Swamp Palace earlier for that first check on his first trip through. Did not have the hammer at the time. Still doesn't, but is about to.
Yeah. And of course, Beer, following the logic and adhering to the actual logic of the seed in order to get his hammer, he rightfully went into pod to go get his lamp from the compass chest, and then now is back here, and doing the middle Vicky chest in Eastern, with the lamp.
Yeah, so a logically required double dip of Palace of Darkness today.
Still missing our boots, by the way.
Yep.
Still missing a sword, but don't worry. Fear is finally slogged his way over to the compass chest of Swamp Palace, and so he's definitely gonna get a sword here. Yeah, I 100% guarantee it. Let's see the sword, Fear.
What's the worst dungeon to not have boots in it, and why is it Swamp?
Why is it Swamp? Oh my gosh, dude! Like this.
I guess it's GT, right? GT is probably the worst dungeon to not have boots in, but
Swamp already. Oh yeah. Okay, it's just a heart container. But I was gonna say Swamp Palace already punishes you for speed, because in the shallow water, right? You can only dash 3 pixels as opposed to the regular 4 with the boots. So, and then everything's just slower, right? It's just you're just grinding.
Of course, it's a trick question. Every dungeon is terrible without the boots.
Yeah. Alright, so Fear, by the way, he was on commentary, I think yesterday, watching an Randomizer race. He doesn't have to worry about flooding the key and not being able to do diver down for this one. We don't have any type of combination.
Love a roller in this room.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's a good thing.
By the way, speaking of Randomizer, since Beer is running, I should let you know. You mentioned Avian Art earlier. The Avian Art server is running a special 12 days of Randomizer. Starting today, running up until Christmas Day. 12 Randomizer seeds, 1 per day. Different modes here. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah.
For those Randomizer fans, I'm a big Randomizer fan. Fear having a tough time with this bomb diver down here.
Yeah, unfortunately, right. So I'm not sure in this case. I'm sure Fear has mentioned at some point which version of Diver Down he's comfortable with, or more comfortable with, the bomb versus the Samaria version. I think without a sword is also kind of like more challenges because you don't have that lineup, right? I think with the bomb it's not as, I guess, like free as opposed to like the Samaria version.
Oh, and it just keeps pushing him out there, and he's just gonna mirror out and give up.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
All right, yeah, that is unfortunate. Yeah, I think you're right. Hopefully, in this case, though, of course, Fear on his podcast talks a lot about tilt. This is a tournament race. I certainly hope that Fear does not let that diver down experience kind of influence kind of like the rest of his race decisions and his execution. Alright, meanwhile though, Beer has made his way, he's got the hammer. He's back in pawn now after getting all the value out, so we're gonna go straight over to Helmasaur. With the lamp, it's gonna be nice, easy. At least to get there, we're still swordless. The fight to Helma, even though Beer does have a good amount of health, is still considered gonna be pretty challenging. And, even for like NMG runners, right, they at least have boosts to make, Helma spin speed, a bit more consistent and safer. We're gonna still basically be on hammer and bow at this point. And we get to
deal with the vanilla hammer hitbox. We don't
exactly.
Extend the hammer hitbox there. But should be okay. It's not too bad.
Yeah, Rando, especially on this equipment, is going to be, probably less punishing. Part of the reason why so many NMG runs die at Helma, especially in the past, is that you want to go fast, right? So it's going to be a very dangerous fight. In this case, Beer can certainly still take his time, and at least ensure his survivability. Alright, looks like Fear, though, is back over to left side swamp. We're gonna try and do this, get over here, the normal way.
We'll see if if Fear, I did it again. We'll see if Fear tries Diver Down in the back as well. I think the back Diver Down is a little bit easier to do with bombs for whatever reason. Even if I struggle on the one on the left, I can usually do the one in the back.
Okay, sounds good. Of course, I mean, but none of that's gonna, it's gonna just be a moot point because Fear is gonna find both the sword and Candace Amari here on left side.
Oh yeah, of course, like you do. Nothing on Helmasaur except for that crystal.
Yeah, but that is a 5/6 crystal for what it's worth, right? And we did see, of course, Fear take down Thieves Town earlier. We have Nilla Big Heat on Fear's side for Swamp Palace, so I guess we're gonna go back now.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna do left side and you're gonna find the big key.
Yeah, that's true. This is good. This is the best.
You want the big key to be over there. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the best layout.
Go backwards to the dungeon, or God forbid, back in.
Yeah, and I also never understood like the game design of this particular dungeon. For the most part, right? If you end up mirroring from like a corner of the dungeon, right, you typically go faster, basically. To basically to start over. Except for Swamp, for some reason,
except for this
it's
one.
like it's actually faster to just walk back or run back or whatever.
Fear is going to be joining Fear in Swamp Palace here.
Yep, still swordless. Yep. The 3 bombs from the big chest were also not useful. But you know what? Never mind. I take those back because Fear had tried to use like 5 bombs or something to do Diver Down. He actually has his stock replenished. So he actually has more attempts now in order to do Diver Down, which is really, really great for Fear.
But is only on 1 heart. So
also, very excellent point. We did get another heart container on a left side swamp. That actually was a potential benefit for him. Looks like Fear does actually not want to use a potion, maybe? Because he has 2 blues and he has a fairy.
He's got a fairy, at least.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't think the potion is worth it.
I think that right side bomb Diver Down tech is pretty new. I'm pretty sure that I saw something about that. If I'm correct, it was discovered by the same person who put together the new Harapot tech, Lord Raiden, if I am not mistaken.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
I think I'm remembering.
I did not realize, so I can neither confirm nor deny your statement. All right, Fear. Thankfully, he picked. Oh, okay, that's good. So the Quake Medallion is definitely requisite. Yeah. Oh my gosh, imagine if Fear actually got Diver Down, like he would have got a
that would have been huge.
Refill. Yeah. Well, okay. So the good news is, of course, that Fear still has all his potions and safety, so he does not have to waste anything. But
no swords in here.
Yeah. The bad news is that we're looks like both Fear and Fear are gonna face down a swordless fight. No silvers, just the hammer.
Yeah, get ready for the menu fight.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we could actually do in this situation.
So fighter sword on Argus.
That would be so mean.
Extremely mean.
We need something, by the way. Okay, you know what? At least Fear, for what it's worth, he has both rods from Pod, right? So his phase 2 is gonna be a little bit nicer, versus Fear. He only has the hammer to use. Speaking of though, I certainly do like this. Fear he's trying to hook multiple puffs in order to try and get them, as opposed to one at a time. So it's certainly gonna be a bit more efficient. Now, Fear is doing a really good job here. Of course, with all the extra health, even though Argus does do 2 hearts of damage on Green Mail, Fear should be relatively okay with health. Again, of course, he always has a fairy as a backup.
Fear is, as many of you know, but if you don't know, Fear is the host of the 216 podcast, where he interviews a different member of the community each week. Fear's been a guest, you've been a guest, Clear Mouse, and Fear is really open about dealing with tilt and being frustrated with this game on his podcast. And he's pretty open about not necessarily having a bunch of good ways to deal with tilt. So you can only kind of imagine what he is thinking right now. And
right. The goal, at least for Fear, I know he definitely tries very hard to try to control the tilt. The goal certainly right now is that he does not let his attempts of Diver Down. In this case, affect the rest of this game.
And we're going to pod. He's gonna get all the goodies in pod. It's okay to be tilted. It's inevitable. Just roll from there. So you gotta be able to put those things behind you.
Yeah. And honestly, this is only game 1. I mean, even despite this is quote unquote game 3, you know, this third ordering, because in this case Fear is the power pendant player.
Yeah,
you know,
the pendants don't have an order. This is game 1.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's the first one, right? It's a fresh, clean slate. You know, there's no pressure either way. It's not like Fear, you know, it's not like Divided Beast Boost is down 2-0. It's not like they're up 2-0, right? Everything is just, you know, we're just gonna play to see what happens.
That's the nice thing about League, right? If you have an off race, your teammates are there to try to pick you up. And Fear's got 2 of the best in the business as his teammates in Gamachu and Ramon. So.
It's almost an understatement. Just how good those guys are. Yep. Alright, we got Fear, of course. We got Beer picking up his Quake Medallion, so we know that, of course, is requisite. But again, I believe also, as other chat members have pointed out, we still need a sword to activate the Quake Medallion as medallion entries into our dungeons. We are still looking for something. I've seen, in this case, that Pod is empty, as in Pod has no sword. Pod has a bunch of other stuff that we still care about. But, you know, Thieves Town is empty, as in no sword. Swamp has no sword. I feel like all of the locations where we're guaranteed at least 1 sword is not paid out.
Right?
So where have we gone? Like where
Moldorm? We've got Moldorm.
We have the hammer.
We have the hammer now, so we can kill Moldorm. There's also 1 item left in Hera that we haven't seen. We had the hook shot there, but nothing else.
Right, I think we can now do Spike Cave as well. We do
can
have
do
a
Ice
hammer.
Palace.
Oh, we can certainly dive into Ice Palace. Yeah, let's go to another dungeon potentially.
Right? I mean, you know, I think Beer is probably headed there next with that fire rod. You know, maybe waiting to find the boots before going back into Thieves Town.
Right. I was so focused on the sword. How could I forget that we're still missing boots? We're
potentially still missing boots. Yeah, we still don't have full pendant crystal knowledge. There's still 1 pendant outstanding. We have a green pendant on Hera, and we have a pendant Eastern that both of our runners know just from beating the Armos Knights. But we're still looking for 1 pendant. It could be Desert. Desert is boost locked though. So if there is a crystal on Landmo, we are going to need those boots. And of course, there's always the 1 out of 22 chance that GT Big D's on the torch. So. Right.
Yeah. Although speaking of other options, you know, we still do have Pyramid Fairy on the table because at least between Beer and Fear combined. In this case, we do have the 5-6 crystals. We have Skull Woods.
Fear making an unfortunate choice here to go straight to Helma from the right side before doing the back. Especially unfortunate because we know that the lamp and fire rod are in the back. So that's an unfortunate choice here.
You actually do that statement. And not necessarily is underrated, but it certainly has more impact in that Fear is swordless more often than not, right? It's like the turtle room, that's the main issue, right? So they get out of hand. You can at least, you know, feel around for where you are. You can use your sword to stick out maybe as a defense, right? Kind of like clink some things here and there, right? It's definitely a bit more dangerous here on Fear's side. I don't necessarily think he's in danger of dying per se, but it's more probably about the time loss and getting lost in the room.
You know, and he's got a fairy, he's got 2 reds, he's got 2 blues rather, but you know, he did get the fire rod.
Wait, does he not have the ice rod? Oh, he just did the basement. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, that's right, because the fire rod, excuse me, so yeah, because the fire rod was in Stalfos basement.
Right.
It's the ice rod and the lamp that are in the back. Okay, never mind. Please ignore everything I just said over the last minute. Fear is fun.
Yeah, all right. So although as you predicted, we're gonna see Ice Palace here on Homemade Beer's side. Another swordless in Denver. Surely there will be a sword here in Ice Palace, right?
There's
surely,
gotta be, right?
Surely.
I mean, we're running out of places. Like.
Yeah, I can't wait to get all the way to Cold Stare without a sword. I can't wait to get all the way to Cold Stare without Kane Samaria, by the way, as well, because we also don't have the Kane.
Samaria is an icebreaker chest. Don't worry, we'll find that.
Okay, all right. So we got. Oh, we got
a sword!
Oh my gosh! Look! We our lives are saved. We finally have a sword at the 1 hour and 6 minute mark.
Oh man, this, like I said, this game is free.
Yeah. Also, by the way, feels like inverted. You go through the the entire world, basically. You know, you dive into Ice Palace swordless. Oh, it looks like also Fear ended up, Fear ended up using most of his arrows in order to take down Helma, which is all, you know, again, when you're playing swordless, you know what, this is just good practice for game 4 or game 5 or whenever these guys go, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, so this is a, you know, as Beer is demonstrating, just because you know how to icebreaker Ice Palace, don't give up your Ice Palace bomb jumps because you know, we could be right here. And you don't want to take another loop around the dungeon if you don't have to.
And Fear Agent not pulling a Gamachu and remembering to check the backup pod after killing Helma first, so that's good.
That's good. Yeah, that ice. Well, so I guess technically we don't know how valuable that ice rod is, but the 8 other items here though are pretty important. No, yeah. So nice combination of bomb and hookshot strats there. Of course, no boots means that again they're just gonna be lineups that or strats that you just can't use.
I don't know how any people play with pallet shuffle.
Of all people, I have confidence in Beer's ability to.
Oh yeah.
To do stuff that's out of the ordinary. Yep.
I would imagine Fear is headed into ice right after this. Seems like the next best play.
Yeah, he's gonna be very happy to see a first sword. I believe I also saw some potential murmurings of 3 swords in GT mentioned. Let us not hope to that conclusion. We can maybe get 1 more sword out of this before I have to climb. Or silvers, you know, anything that kind of like make our lives a little bit nicer.
Seen plenty of races. So we're talking about the Dante Kermit race earlier. The absolute classic of Andy versus Ravis yesterday, as well in that same series, had something about swords in it too. So.
Right. Yeah. Sword beams. That is definitely a thing here on Cold Stare as well. We could take down Cold Stare if we had sword beams in order to maybe save a little bit of magic. Oh my gosh, there are 2 swords.
Ask and ye shall receive. Why is that there?
GT. Or not GT.
Let's get tempered. Let's go. 3 swords in Ice Palace. Come on. Let's do it. Come on, Free Sword Chest.
Oh my gosh, let's not think about such things.
No, we still got. That's right. We still got 2 more items in here.
Yeah, right. Because Map Compass Shuffle. So
shuffle.
Exactly. We got a +2 on every single dungeon. All right. Okay. Fear about to get his first sword at the 1 hour 10-minute mark. Amazing. Fear, happy. Show us a smile, Fear. I'm sure he's smiling on the inside.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely smiling and not, you know, using some language that I'm not supposed to use on SpeedGaming. That's definitely true. He's fine.
Okay, so right now, still looking at our tracker is really the outstanding, I guess like a pendant / crystal knowledge. Is it between Desert and Ice Palace? And Turtle Rock?
And TR.
Turtle,
yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna find out very shortly then what Cold Stare is. At least we don't do the swordless. At the same time, we're 1 heart away, you know, from being able to use sword beams to save a couple of fire rod shots in terms of magic. We do not have bombos, so unfortunately we're gonna have to do this, I guess, the fire rod way. But at least Beer looks like he has at least 1 potion he can use.
Yeah, Beer's got, I think, 2 blues. I'm pretty sure he bought 1.
Right, he did buy 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course has the free one that was in the bottle at Checkerboard Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's gonna go ahead and pop one of those right away, so he can use Fire Rod. And remember, kids, if you're gonna use the Fire Rod on Cold Stare on the actual puffs, hit him to the left. Oh, there's the cane of Samaria
Oh my god.
and a crystal.
Okay, well this was the right decision to come here. So again, this is even more reason to learn Ice Pal's bomb jump. Run a little bit of NMG so you can get that practice in. Maybe not necessarily without the boots part, but you know the point is that you don't always get the luxury of having Cane of Samaria before you come in here, or really during while you come here.
So Meyer is the clear next play, right? We can full clear it. We know it's a crystal. I suppose Skullwoods and Thieves are on the menu too. But yeah, Beer is headed to Meyer.
Yeah, we haven't been here yet, and we definitely can get in now with the 2 swords that we found in Ice Palace.
And the hook shot.
And the hook shot that we did find up on the mountain.
Beer, of course, remembering one of the most difficult tricks in Misery Mire, to kill the Murder Dactyl when you know you need to use the Quake Medallion to open up the dungeon.
Yes, very important. Otherwise, the birds just kind of hover, I guess. And you know what? Homemade beer using the chicken sprite is the alpha bird. You know, despite his his avian art, tendencies in this case or affinities, for multiple birds, the Murder-Dactyl is not one of them that we would like to call our friends.
Oh man, we should get a Murder-Dactyl sprite. How do we not have a Murder-Dactyl sprite?
That's a good question. I actually don't know if I mean, I know we have a lot of very talented sprite artists out there, but I guess we don't actually have one.
All right, we are in Misery Mire here for Homemade Beer. Air Agent about to get his Master Sword in Iced Tea.
You talk actually about palette shuffle. So this looks exactly like Pod, by the way, right?
Yeah,
and
it does.
And it's almost like Door Rando at this point.
Yeah. Oh, rather, Master Sword is in Freezer Room. That's right.
Oh, right, yeah. That's right. It's the Big Key and Iced Tea, yeah.
Or did he already get it? No, he already got it. It was over on the right side. It's just the tracker must have eaten the input or something. So.
It's okay. Well, once Fear decides to swing his sword over, yep, we got Master Sword.
No, he got it. Okay. That's right, because this was a map.
Yeah, because if it's definitely one thing that we love to do in Ice Palace is to go to Iced Tea, without the boots. Yep.
Yeah, always great.
Alright, so we have to make our way in through Mire. We do have a small key, so I think that still just means key logic means that it is the vanilla big key chest here, right?
We have a guaranteed big key in the vanilla big key chest here with that small key in Compass Room.
Yeah, so I guess for what it's worth, that's probably on the better side, just because you don't have to gamble anything here. You have to do this chest regardless. You do know it's a crystal, etc., etc. And so we're really going to be comfortably full clearing the dungeon.
Moogle bringing up a good point in chat. If you are Homemade Beer, do you act like you're in Go mode?
We are boots potential. We don't know what desert / turtle wreck is, right? We don't know which is the pendant.
Did we get the desert map in this dungeon or in Ice Palace?
Well, Cassidy, our tracker, says that we do have the desert map, so presumably maybe after this. So to get the rest of the chest here in Mire isn't going to be maybe too big of a deal, but Beer could basically full clear this dungeon, mirror over, check the map, and then see in this case if he wants
if we need to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he'll go finish. There's bombos. So he'll go finish the Skullwoods and Thieves Town next, I would imagine. But Desert is boots locked. We know this because both of our runners have already dipped Desert. The book was pretty early.
Yeah, it looks like though Fear taking, he got his King Samaria from Cold Stare. He is just kind of following now in Beer's footsteps in order to dip into Mire. Looks like he's already got the Quick Medallion out, of course. Even though it does look like maybe Fear is a little bit behind, at least going into Mire and kind of like clearing out the dungeon, do keep in mind that Fear has already completed Thieves Town.
That's true.
You know, so it actually looks honestly relatively, pretty even.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Fear is probably a little bit ahead at this point, as a matter of fact. Well, it's pretty close.
We're gonna have to see. Yeah,
This
execution does matter a bit.
This Misery Mire was not one that you can skip a whole lot in. You end up doing the whole front no matter what. But I think Fear, has maybe a very slight lead. This is going to come down to who finds the boots first.
Yeah, or if we don't need boots, right? We could.
That's true. Yeah,
we could sadly never see boots. I would be very sad if we didn't see boots. All right, though Beer is making us say he looks like he has played a seed or two without the boots. Is doing quite well here and actually getting spooky, making his way nicely through the basement of Mire. Yeah, but I think other than actually, have we even found anything that's notable in Mire? I mean, we did find bombos, but we don't maybe actually need that.
Yeah, we don't need the bombos.
Yeah, but so even okay, we're looking for boots, right? Or potentially, we could actually be in go mode if Desert is in this case a pendant. We would really like to have something extra. Tempered Sword, silvers would be. Oh no, I guess we won't get silvers because this is hard mode.
Right.
But the Tempered Sword would be super swell.
And we're about to see if we're looking. It seems like Beer has the DP map. From something, at least. He hasn't checked it yet, but I imagine we're going to get that check right away as Beer takes down Vitreous for crystal number 4, getting the inferior blue boomerang.
Yeah, he's already used the red boomerang like multiple times, so it's okay. All right, yeah. So presumably he's got the mirror out, so he is going to mirror immediately. And then it'll be a very quick map check because presumably, as you said before, we still have
not even
two more
need to
crystals.
map check. You can just walk in.
Oh, we're just gonna flute.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So presumably
Not gonna show us though.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm reading in this case, at least there's some discussion in chat for. I mean, they did dip Desert early. I'm not sure if we. Maybe he saw it then.
I'm pretty sure that we didn't see it then.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Desert was a crystal or pendant. At least we didn't. But I guess I also don't remember. It's possible that Beer also still knows exactly. Yeah, I mean, well, so like the fact that he did not map to see what Desert's prize is, and then he was also still checking stuff like.
Chad is saying that Beer's personal tracker on his stream has Crystal Desert Pendant TR.
Yeah, right. So the fact that he didn't map check, right, to check Desert's prize, and he was still looking for stuff in Mire, and then he didn't, right? Like it makes me think that he thinks that Desert's a crystal, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't be searching for stuff, right? If he already knew, otherwise he would already been checked again.
Yeah, and those boots can be just about anywhere. They can be on PED.
They can't be in GT for what it's
They can't be in GT, but that's about it. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think that Beer is gonna clear Skull Woods here, then probably do a PED check.
Or we could just find boots here in the bridge chest.
Or we could just find boots here.
That would be ideal. Yeah.
We've got, there is an item outstanding in Skull Woods. We had the one item, which was the bottle in the big key chest.
Yeah, it looks like Beer is also doing something. Yeah, he's basically just kind of following in Beer's footsteps. At least for Mire, he did get the middle of the big key chest in order to get the big key. So go straight over to Vitreous. Again, not necessarily the most pleasant of fights because you are on Master Sword. Beer's magic is a little bit on the lower side. Oh, but he's gonna get full magic refill before he goes back down the basement at least.
No, he'll be good.
Yeah, and he has the cape. We saw that. We saw Beer make excellent use of it. Alright, of course, speaking of another fight where it would be ideal to have, Temper Sword here, but, we were swordless for basically an hour of the game, so I'm not gonna complain in this case if we had
Master Sword, a luxury compared to the first hour of this seed. Nicely handled by Homemade Beer. Gonna get crystal number...
Oh, there's
our tempered sword!
On
Both of our runners
Oh my god.
will have that.
Wow. So that sword is sword locked, by the way. You had to go into Ice Palace for your swords. I mean, unless there's a fourth one floating around somewhere that we didn't know about, but you needed a sword in order to get back into your mouth, you know?
Game's got jokes.
That is, Alright, what here is on the pedestal? Was Eastern Palace worth the Armos kill? It is a trackable item. We have Ether, but it is not the item we're looking for today. Well, guess we're going back up the mountain. Yeah, so what do we have,
Turtle
right?
Rock.
Yeah. Turtle Rock, Hera, right? We do have Green Pendant as well.
Beer is putting off Thieves Town here?
Actually, this is a good point. I hope he didn't forget, because he definitely didn't kill Blind, right?
Yeah. Fear's got a fairy.
Yeah, and I guess this is maybe like he has to come back down to desert anyway because Bester's boost locked, right? So going up the mountain is not going to be like an extra cost, right? Like one of the ideal cases is you can try and delay the mountain, just do everything in one go, right? Hera, Turtle Rock if you need to, and then GT. But if we have to go up anyway, maybe he thinks this is actually going to be more item dense for him. Looks like we are going to go do Turtle Rock first as opposed to Hera. Maybe he's just gonna do a loop and go into Turtle Rock, get all of his stuff, because, you know, again, as map compass shuffle, we do get 2 extra items in the dungeon, as opposed to, you know, Hera, yeah.
Boots are just on Laser Bridge anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know, also, right, like, maybe you don't have to make those decisions as early, you know, there's Hera Basement, maybe you have to sit through, there's Spike Cave you maybe have to go through, like, these are really terribly slow checks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Beer's teammate Mooglejar making a good point. Beer had a pretty slow early game. Last location, Dark World access, Mitts over in Ice Palace. Not quite last location, but just about. So thinking that if Boots are in Thieves Town, then he's possibly already done.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, of course, there's also Pyramid Fairy that opens up, you know, with Thieves Town clear. Maybe, you know, that's where Fear's maybe gonna go before he heads up the mountain. Certainly has a very similar idea, though, to what Beer was doing, right? Basically going straight over from Ice Palace, going to Mire, going from Mire straight over to Skullwoods. And of course, Fear is going to be rewarded with his Temper Sword. Always really great to see in any type of mode.
Yeah, everybody loves seeing a Tempered Sword. Makes everything a little bit nicer, or a lot of bit nicer.
Yeah. I was like, wait, there are rollers in Turtle... Right, there are rollers in Turtle Rock.
This is an Randomizer.
Randomizer memories came flooding back. Yeah, but so far
Fear is also...
Like...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, in this case, looks like Beer, you know, Beer doesn't really have much progression here in Turtle Rock so far, but...
Not so far, but yeah. the front of Turtle Rock is usually key time, so...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess, like, the hope, you know, is that you see a little bit of extra more value, just because, you know, again, like, the map and compasses are, you know, are shuffled, but yeah, I think you're right, though, just because in order to get to the back, you just need so many keys, you know, for logic, so... It's
not quite as bad as Palace of Darkness, but often a lot of keys here in the front of TR. I was gonna say that both of our runners at 13 hearts, very close to the maximum number of hearts that they're going to find here, which is 14.
Yeah, and I certainly can expect to kind of see more and more, like, a green 20 show up. Those are, you know, like, the heart piece and, like, the heart container replacements.
Right.
We kind of already, you know, we're probably going to see, you know, a lot of them, you know, on at least Beer's side. I think we saw at least one in Turtle Rock already.
Someone was asking about the Cucko bunny sprite, and there it is.
Yeah, the sprite artists are really, like, truly amazing. They've done such a good job with these sprites. Like, they just look so realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of though, another green 20 here in the middle of the key chest of Turtle Rock. So yeah, we're definitely kind of seeing like the limits here of where we would have been on Mirror Shield or like Blue Mail or Red Mail or 15 Hearts or something, right? We're definitely
Silver
seeing,
Arrows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, such nice pokey
RNG.
Yeah,
yes, you love
glad
to see it.
Yeah, love to
one
see
out
it.
of 1 out of 16 chance.
All right, looks like though. So no Pyramid Fairy for Fear. We're gonna go straight up the mountain.
That's an interesting play.
Yeah, and actually we're gonna go up the Hera way. So maybe we're gonna actually see some more coverage here. On between Beer and Fear. Beer. Homemade Beer is doing the right side of the mountain, right? Dark of the mountain is straight over to Turtle Rock. Looks like maybe Fear's gonna take the east side and gonna do Hera first.
I don't mind this. Boots don't make Hera that much faster. You know.
And he has a sword in this case, right, to kind of help line himself up
Right.
to do the bomb jump or to do Hera pot, right? So yeah.
It is. This is the big key is in the basement here, because the hook shot was in the basement cage, and then the small key was in the compass chest down here.
Okay, cool.
Or the map chest, rather.
Good reminder. So where do you think these boots are?
I mean, Laser Bridge. I think they're on Laser Bridge.
Gotcha.
Like...
That's true. We're still slogging our way over to basically like at least the treasure trove, of Turtle Rock, or the vault rather.
Yeah. We just saw the second item in Hera was just a piece of heart in the compass chest. So we will be just no need to visit the basement today. No need for that big key.
Oh, did we get all the items?
Yeah. Hook shot and a piece of heart. Oh no, map compass shovel, map
two
compass
more.
shovel.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
I don't know if we're gonna have to visit the basement. I guess we'll see. Yeah, we're kind of waiting here with bated breath. It is an item, quote unquote. But we do have the green pendant.
And this is the green pendant too. So yeah. All right, Laser Bridge. Here we go.
Yeah. Where are we finding these boots? Not chest number 1.
We're gonna be seeing a lot of those. We're now
the
mushroom.
Oh my gosh.
Gee, thanks, game. There they are.
And we found the boots on Laser Bridge.
At 1 hour, 29 minutes flat, Homemade Beer is in go mode.
Amazing. Boots go mode. That's definitely something that can happen in this mode. Now, it was nice boostless laser skips, by the way, on Homemade Beer side. Always really like to see it. Definitely a good sign of an interest runner as well. All right, looks like though Fear has so Fear done all of Hera. That he at least did not swim through the basement. That's always a good thing. But decided to do the east side of the mountain first.
Yeah,
we are going.
He's headed to TR, but unfortunately, at this point, well, Beer still has to beat the back of Thieves Town. So this is a little bit closer than it looks, perhaps.
This is right. I mean, I don't think it's as far as maybe it seems like, but Fear does have to get all the way to Laser Bridge on Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, and can't skip anything either, right? Like is going to be checking everything between here and then. Can't skip lava chest. Can't skip or won't skip at the very least the big chest or mimic cave, right? So it is going to take Fear Region a little bit of time to get to those boots. But Beer is solidly in the lead, but do remember that he does also still need to clear the back of Thieves Town.
Right, yeah. And I guess, his decision to kind of put off Thieves Town, at least the back of it, right, and hopes to wait for the boots, actually does, he was definitely rewarded for this case. And of course, then we also do have, some potential variations. Of course, the execution is always going to matter in terms of, end game stuff. We do have GT routing potential differences. Lots of things have happened on Ganon. However good of a runner you are, sometimes you just can't help, what.
We saw that. Yeah, we saw that yesterday. We've been remiss. If you've liked this seed, and I know that you have, you should give our runners a follow. Homemade Beer and Fear Agent, both doing a great job here today, giving you an entertaining race. So thank you to them for agreeing to the restream. You should give them a follow. I'm gonna put their links in chat here.
You don't have to like the seed either, by the way, in order to follow them. Like they're just
no,
you know, they're the ones suffering through this one. Basically.
And as a matter of fact, right, you'll never see this seed again. Like if you don't like this seed, don't worry, it's gone. This is the only time you will ever see it. So.
Yeah, the boost go mode from being on Laser Bridge at the 1 hour, you said 29-minute mark, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And also make sure you follow my co-con Clear Mouse. Doesn't do a ton of streaming, but is always around here. Is a moderator for the league, as is our tracker Cassidy Moen, doing a great job behind the scenes, keeping us honest on the buttons.
Yeah, no, definitely shout outs to Cassidy. I mean, like he's done a really good job here on tracking, and it's just really it's definitely really hard to remember things. Always kind of looking down to make sure the information is correct. All right, so Beer, yep, he is actually going to be able to dash with the boost that he found on Laser Bridge, which Fear, you know, I would like to say he at least on his way to. I don't necessarily know of how fast you'll get them, but he's at least making progress towards them. Well, Fear also does need to be a bit careful. This is kind of one of the consequences of this particular hard mode variation. We're all going to be stuck on green mail. Chomps, I mean, I guess they can care maybe a little about what armor you're on, but before hearts of damage, the 14 hearts is really kind of like a false sense of security. The heart beeps don't start until maybe, what, like 2 or 3 hearts in, and Chomps can get you like a 1-2 combo, and then you're just suddenly like you're on the verge of death at that point.
And everything from here on in, it hits like a freight train. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see already Fear out with the powder already. Yeah, definitely really good idea. Speaking of very talented sprite artists, I'm actually not sure if Fear is the one who did his particular sprite, but that Space Monkey is definitely him. Poor Fear, still having to trudge back out through, but we're almost there. We're almost to the boots, Fear. You can do this. Meanwhile, though, Beer is almost done with the back of Thieves Town. He just has to go basically rescue the maiden and then expose her for the true identity for who she actually is. And then we're gonna basically go climb the mountain and then hopefully go find her GT Picky. Let's see in this case what type of router Fear is. If he is a Mimic K first person or a Big Chest first person. I see that he has chosen the dark side and decided to open the Turtle Rock Big Chest first. Yeah, right, just to kind of catch everyone else up, Beer is in go mode. He was at go mode at the 1 hour 29-minute mark because that's when he found his boots on the 3rd chest of Laser Bridge. Beer is well on his way there. He just needs to go get them and then he clear out the backup desert.
The book was the first trackable item we found. So yeah.
Right, yes, that is I think you're actually right because we got a bunch of like rupees and heart pieces. I mean, we were on bombs, right? For the first, I don't know how many minutes, right? When was our first sword? 50-some minute mark? In Ice Palace? After we've cleared out Swamp, in Argus swordless? And Thieves Town swordless on Fear's side?
And Beer still has a dungeon left still. Oh no, Beer's done. Beer's got 7. He's ready to go. Don't need to beat Hera. 7 crystals. We're going. You can, in honor of Fear Agent who doesn't like the big key guessing game. Let's guess some actual locations. for the big key guessing game. Everybody's putting numbers in chat. That's fine. You can do that too. But pick your actual location of where the big key is. You've got 2 in Hope Room and Tile Room and 4 in Compass Chest. You've got the Torch. You've got 4 in Stalfos Room. You've got Double Fire Bar Room. You've got Fire Snake Room. You got 4 in Rando Room, Bob's Chest, and 3 vanilla chests behind Ice Armos.
That's a lot of locations. Finally, though,
22 of
Fear
them.
is Finally, Fear has made his way onto Laser Bridge. Also doing some really nice boostless laser skips. We finally have the boots. Yep, not safe. Look at how fast the save and quit was.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows that he is now finally going to be able to run over to Desert. With the mirror, basically, you know, backdoor, we're just going to do a very quick Landmos kill. Meanwhile, though, as you said, looks like we've already got a lot of locations of GT basement rooms and chests. Beer is going to go find his GT.
I think Beer is a Rando Rush guy.
Is he really?
No, apparently
not. As we rush over to the right side Hope Room.
Lol. I was guessing. That's the Mimi route right now. So
all right, sounds good. Oh, we did pick up the GT compass, by the way. So we get to count along, you know, with Beer as we go through this journey, you know, as a team.
Hope Room, not the answer today, but we do get that small piece, so we do continue on right.
Yeah, the not having a small key, of course, or rather having a small key in Hope Room certainly does mitigate a lot of the GT routing variations. You know, from basically minutes potentially, you know, to, you know, like let's say, you know, like under a minute, you know, 40 some seconds or whatever.
Right. Here comes Compass Room. Got a big 20 and a small 20 and another small 20 and a big 20. There we go.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, we're definitely kind of seeing the hard mode kind of, you know, take more of a presence, right? All of these, you know, 20s basically are like heart pieces, heart containers, or whatever. We basically can't go over 14 hearts, so.
4 20s. Something.
4, yes, that's right.
Monka TOS.
Alright, looks like though, nothing on the right side of GT, so Beer's just gonna mirror straight over and gonna check Stalfos Room. Meanwhile, though, Fear's made his way back into the... Oh, man. Getting a little bit bullied here with the red Igor. And gonna take down a quick Land Molus fight with, presumably, the Fire Rod, because nothing else is gonna be faster.
Another 20. Beer, what? Beer, you've got the mirror out. Okay, he's just trolling. Good.
Maybe he doesn't have enough time to quick sub over. Although you're absolutely correct, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to see the mirror just like sitting on the Y item. You just like one you know, errant tap, and you're starting over, and it's not a good feeling.
So what happened for Fear here? What was you know, like, Fear had a solid lead at the beginning, and it's not the seed did not come down to Fear having like trouble with diver down on left side swamp, right? Like what was the fateful decision, right, that unfortunately that put Beer ahead, do we think?
I mean, it looked like just kind of at the end, everything was pretty even, except that Fear decided to do Hera and Spike Chest, or Spike Cave, and Fear decided to just rush her to rock. I'm not even sure if there were probably like extra things that Fear decided to do. And I do agree with you that despite Fear definitely struggling a little bit with Diver Down, basically doing swordless again. You know, we didn't have a sword for, you know, 50 some minutes of the game. I really don't think it really hurt.
Upper left Rando Room. That's where it was yesterday when I won the big key guessing game. So
okay.
Rando Rush as usual. The proper big key strategy in Ganon's Town.
Yeah, especially when there are like no silvers in the pool. I mean, you know, we can pretend that one of like the 10, 20, you know, the green 20s that we got was the silvers, you know, just for fun.
GG's to Josh Bittner, who I believe has now won the big key guessing game twice in a row. Congratulations, you win 3,473 internet points.
Alright, hopefully in this case Fear is also going to guess correctly, because he is also now entering GT. So if he does, I mean, I've never seen Fear do Rando Rush, honestly. But you know, if he today could be the day that he starts. Today is not the day that Fear starts doing Rando Rush for a GT routing.
Alas.
So it looks
Thanks
like
to Skippy for gifting us stuff to drop
Yeah.
in there. We appreciate that.
yeah, thank you.
And so does SpeedGaming.
Yeah, but it looks like, at least in terms of routing choices, you know, Fear and Beer have made similar ones, so we're gonna check out Compass Chest, and of course, Fear having basically the exact same stuff as Beer before. We're just basically see the exact same content, you know, 2 red 20s, 2 green 20s. And then Fear just has to make his way over to Rainbow Room. Oh, look at that fire shield in
Shield's
use.
doing work.
Exactly why we have it.
Now, the big question remains, and that's will Beer fluff the 4 checks at the top of GT, despite the fact that the silvers are not available?
Yeah, I cannot see him doing this, but then again, I'm also not Beer.
Totally
right?
can.
So. Alright, looks like. Oh, okay. Fear just he just wanted the small key. Okay, I was like, is he really gonna go all the way basically Ice Armos on this? Guess not though. Alright, so Beer is almost up to the top of GT. Of course, we do have, oh man, we have a million safeties on Beer side and Fear side for that matter. We have at least 1 fairy, we've got at least 1 blue potion, maybe 2. I can't remember if Beer used 1. We've also got powder.
I believe both of them have used a blue potion.
Okay.
At some point, either in Mire or in Ice.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why, of course, people don't like the Hope Room first routing, just because those Stalfos can be certainly quite a bit of
Should have just gotten Ether off of Ped forehead.
Yeah, exactly, right. We could use Bombos, I think.
Yeah, Bombos is slow.
Yeah, alright, so it looks like Homemade Beer has decided to not get the mini helmet chest, nor the pre-Moldarm chest. We're gonna see in this case if he gets the Moldarm chest.
What a try-hard, Homemade Beer.
Oh, jeez, he almost got knocked out, but thank you, Hookshot, for the initial save.
At least give us the last chest, Beer. Come on. Thank you. 300 rupees.
We are so rich. I mean, so of course Beer did end up paying off Zora. That's probably why he's not over the 2,000 mark, because we did get a ton of extra cash. He also did Houlihan for what it's worth, because he was super close to Zora money. He didn't know about the 300 in the front of Skullwoods. All right, we are 2 bosses, 2 opaque bosses and 2 translucent bosses away from victory.
Beer didn't fluff Random Room and Half Magic was there. If this were a little bit closer, that might have mattered.
That's hilarious. Oh, well, so yeah, I'm not sure in this case how much Half Magic can have. It's certainly gonna be really nice for Fear, because he doesn't have to work. He can basically just spam that Fire Rod, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, they've got potions, and it's probably fine. Not a big deal.
Oh no, Fear though having a little bit of issues here with the mimics. Unfortunately, we don't have the mirror shield, so we can't actually block the fire shots, I guess, like from the
There's
eye.
a sentence nobody's ever said before. Unfortunately, we don't have the mirror shield.
Fear, for what it's worth, Fear might appreciate it here. something duck betray. Okay, all right, we've got our Homemade Beer starting off. It is chicken versus pig, the classic farm WWE
barnyard battle.
Yeah, exactly.
The barnyard brawl. The farm fracas.
Yeah. Nice 1-1, avoiding the rando bats as well. We just have to go through the motions for phase 3, and then without silvers, of course, we are, well, Beer's already got his lamp out. Torch glitch is not, of course, at the state of this race, is probably not pertinent, but man, does it not feel good if you miss it.
Did you find the arrows in World 4 2?
What is World 4 2?
Not in this game.
I remember Super Mario World. I think World 4 was where you first got the spikes, like the spinies and the Lakitus. That's what I remember, but that's only 4-1.
I think there's a warp zone in 4-2.
Okay. So maybe 4-2 was like a cave level.
Maybe?
Is that right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah.
I
I think the second warp zone.
Yeah. Alright, Beer's actually doing a really good job here, trying to land as many triples as he can. Just, this is what you get for Torch Quest. You have enough time to do these triples. Oh, didn't quite investigate this time. But yeah, he's definitely, yep, last one out. So, get your GGs out in chat for Beer, taking a first victory for the team Beats from the East. Going to claim that 1-0 in this series between themselves and the Divine Beastie Boys. Gonna gear up for a very exciting game 2 relatively shortly.
Yeah, nice little upset for Homemade Beer and the Beats from the East. Fury Agent is going to finish this one out, but Homemade Beer finishes in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 46 seconds. GG to Homemade Beer and Beats from East, taking a 1-0 game lead in the series.
Half Magic, by the way, already paying off for Fear. He had just enough magic to use the lamp. Thanks to Half Magic. At the very end to light the torches.
We are joined by our winner, Homemade Beer, GG's Gamer.
Yo, Beer, GG's?
Hello.
So that was gross, right?
So if you were to guess, did you think you were first to the sword, or do you think you were first to the boots?
I could see the boots. I felt really behind at that point.
Yeah, your early game was a little did not work out super well for you, so that I can understand why you might.
Yeah, I ruined our team names by skipping Eastern. I felt bad.
You were definitely not first to the hammer. That part is true.
I hope so, honestly, because I felt like I did not play that Light World well at all. And then I checked literally everything before going into Eastern, except Bombo's tablet, but I didn't have swords. And I actually forgot. I meant to check it after Swamp, and I forgot.
You did end up single dipping Eastern, however, which is something you can't say for Fear.
Was he there early?
Yeah, he got the hammer before you did, and then we kind of found out later on that it was in logic through the lamp.
Through Pod. That was so dumb.
Yeah, no, Pod had the goods today. Both of our light sources, the ice rod.
The useful ice rod with the pendant. Yep.
Sure. Well, that's what you were supposed to use to kill Lambo.
Right.
Yeah. So I hope that you got enough swordless practice for game 4 or
I know.
Whatever.
I thought it was swordless. Like somehow we rolled all the modes, like all the playoff modes in one. I was like, oh, are small keys going to be popping up all of a sudden?
Yeah, exactly. Fear.
Oh no, Fear.
Did he get that fairy?
He did get the fairy. Yeah. Like, you guys.
He had already used the fairy.
Oh, he did use the fairy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It was still pretty early, so.
He was just like a little bit too low there for the hook shot to give him enough iframes to dodge all of those bats there.
Yeah, so I guess so for what it's worth, like you and Fear were, despite you, I guess, like last location in your midst and Light World, you guys were actually pretty even, mostly throughout the entire race. It was kind of the the indecision. So what made you, I guess, choose to go to Turtle Rock to go look for stuff versus like Hera? That was kind of like the coin flip decision because Fear went to Hera instead first.
Yeah, because I could see Hera being late in the seed. Okay, well, there was two things. Like, I should have done Thieves Town, but I was kind of like, I really want boots before Thieves Town, and like, I'll take the gamble. I don't think, like, not that I don't think they're there. I just feel like behind if they're there. I already feel so behind if they're actually there, so I'm not gonna do these first.
Okay.
But as far as Hera goes, I didn't want to go back after I went there once already, honestly. because I was like, I'm not going to leave an item in the basement or an item in the big chest. I don't want to do the basement. Like, it's actually a lot of time to go to do hair. What had to be done.
Yeah, that was also kind of like maybe another one of those points where it's like you had although 2 extra checks in Turtle Rock as well, right? Because of map compass shuffle.
Yeah,
and then
Mimic Cave and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like 8 checks versus like 3 or whatever.
Right. In certain terms of like time density, right? Like Spike Cave takes forever. Yeah, as you said, Hera Basement takes forever. And it's not even Hera Basement. It's like the Hera Basement to get the big key in order to get to the big chest, right? It's like it's a very big time investment.
Yeah, because like if I did Hera, I would have done that. Actually, I would have done basement first. I felt really terrible about it.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, like this seed, without us, yeah. Yeah, this seed was quite the slog, I think, for both of you. No boots, basically. Yeah,
Boots go mode's the worst. Yeah, get your GGs in chat for Fear Agent, who is finishing up this race. We'll finish with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG Sphere.
Yeah, definitely GG's to Fear. I mean, like, I think he, again, like, this seed I think was very difficult to play well. Just routing, it was just so terrible. And then also, of course, he just didn't get boots, right, for so long. Not to mention he didn't get a sword for so long either. Did you also like that the sword placement on Mothula?
No, that one was funny. I was gonna do ice first before swamp, right? I'll do ice first because I can do it, and then swamp was like, oh, I'll get my sword in swamp first, right?
That's what we were all thinking.
Yeah,
too.
we were like, surely, three swords in swamp, right? That's where all they're gonna be. Yep, nothing.
We are joined by Fear Agent, GG's friend.
Yo, Fear, yeah, GG's.
Yo, GG's, dude.
Yeah, GG's.
So tough seed, Fear. Obviously, we had a couple moments of struggle there. What were your thoughts overall?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay, so Fear, I have to ask.
Loves Raffle.
I mean, I guess I have to ask. So I know that you probably the first real moment of anxiety, at least from my perspective, was I guess you took a little bit longer time in swamp, right, because of diver down. I'm not sure what the difference for setup was, but did you feel that affected the rest of your game afterwards? You talk about tilts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Fear.
So. I don't know. I'm struggling mentally, and it's not just because of the game, but Rando doesn't help. And
I'm sorry, Fear.
I don't know. The seed was fine. It was fine.
Was it really? It was.
I mean,
just pretty awful things.
Yeah, this seed was gross. You guys didn't get a sword until the hour mark in Ice Palace, right? We had boots go. Hammer in the Eastern Palace big key chest, right? There's a whole bunch of nonsense in this seed.
I mainly think just the fact that the Dark World loop I don't think had a single item.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And not a single one was kind of all right, where is anything? And then it was just in pot and ice. Okay, just do pot and ice.
Well,
I guess Eastern.
I mean, I didn't even get the hook shot until, I don't know, super late because I got the mitts and then took that into the Dark World.
Oh,
and I didn't sequence break the mountain, so I did Mire area, I did Hype Cave, I did all of that stuff it got nothing. It was nothing. It was just nothing. And then so I'm down to Eastern or Hyrule Castle or the mountain, and I don't really have a good way to kill anything because it's just bombs. And then I get the hook shot and I clear the mountain and you still get nothing. And
I don't think there was anything on the mountain.
Maybe I think a bow. I think maybe we got.
Oh, that's right. There was a bow in.
But
that at least got you to Eastern for what it's worth.
Yeah, that got me to Eastern. I got the hammer, but at that point I'm feeling pretty terrible. And then I go to swamp instead of pod because I was hoping for a sword. I just did not want to navigate pod without something. I had nothing to navigate with. Of course, there's the fire rod and the lamp and
Yeah,
pod.
lamp in there,
But
yeah.
so then I get to swamp, and I don't know what happened in that diverter. I just couldn't do it. I don't know. I wasn't getting pushed right. I don't know exactly what happened there.
I've definitely had that happen to me, and it makes me wonder if it is the same sort of thing that messes with the bomb trajectory in Terrapot, maybe.
I thought so. That's what it felt like, because I felt like I was doing everything right. Maybe someone can go back and watch it and tell me what I was doing wrong. But
was it the one where you get only halfway clipped in?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because you're lined up with the stairs. You got to move left before you drop the bomb. For that. If it's the thing I'm thinking of, that's typically.
That's probably right. That's probably right.
Yeah.
So then I mirrored out, and then I have to decide, because I died on my way to Ice Rod Cave and went back and got the glove, and I was like, oh, that's fortunate that I went back, because normally I'd probably just skip that. I mean, I went to like a mini Moldorm Cave early and couldn't hit anything to save my life.
That
happened to me too.
That middle Moldorm between the two of you took I think 5 or 6 bombs to kill. It happened to both of you.
Yeah, so that was frustrating. So I'm like, I'll just go to Ice Rod Cave while I still have a bomb, and then I die. And so then swamp, I was like, I guess I got to do left side, because I mean it's map compass shuffle, and then I just don't want to skip, because I still needed so much stuff. I don't want to skip anything, so swamp was extra long.
You did swamp before pod. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then pod, and then ice, and then mire, Skullwoods, and then you're like on a boots hunt. And did you full clear mire?
Yeah. So I did ice. Let me think about this. So I basically hard lasso-cated pod. Before Eastern though. So I did all of pod, and then I mirrored and did Eastern and got the hammer, and kind of was like a little like pissed off in a way. And then so I beat Eastern as a pendant, yay, and then went back to pod, finished it up. And then I was like, okay, I'll go do swamp. Try and find a sword before ice, because I was gonna do ice first, but I'm like, I really want a sword, because Ice Palace bomb jump without either boots or a sword is really not easy. So I was like, let's just do this. So then I did swamp, did ice, got like all the other things, and I'm like, okay, let's go do mire, full cleared mire. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do skull, check ped, and I felt like you could have had the hammer early, or like any number of things, like any number of ways to beat thieves early. So I was like, well, I don't want to do thieves first. I'd rather go look for the boots, and like I felt behind enough that because like I like hard lasso-cated mids as Eastern, and like I just had a really wonky light world route. I probably had like 10 saving points. So I was like, I feel so behind. Like if boots are just on the way, I don't feel like I have a good shot. I gotta do something. Gotta go for them somewhere else. And so then I just did Turtle Rock instead, because that's also a place that
Actually, before I did swamp, I did Thieves Town, so that was my first crystal.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I think I did that. Yeah, I know I had Thieves Town done before. Yeah, it was like some sort of combination of like Thieves Town or like Eastern, because you have to finish Eastern because you don't know if it's a pendant or crystal.
Right.
Thieves Town, swamp, pod, ice, mire, Skullwoods, and then I'm like, it's probably just TR, right? But so many times. This is the hard part about this game, right? It's like, do you go density or do you go one-offs? And when I go one-offs, it's not there. When I go density, it's not there. So it's like, which one do you choose? I don't know. I wasted time with Hera.
I didn't have any one-offs left.
But did you do Pyramid Fairy?
No, because I didn't beat Thieves Town. Like if I did Thieves Town, Hammer Pegs was the only thing I had left besides.
I did that. Did you do the front of the castle?
I did that really early. I did that before I got to I basically. When I did Mini Moldorm Cave, I was leaving CAC with like 5 bombs, I think. I'm like, let me go buy more. So I actually bought bombs twice, because they weren't showing up. And then I even got the Uncle bombs on this one. So just like there's just no bombs at the beginning, and we didn't have any weapons. it was really kind of freaking.
The kind of seed that makes everybody frustrated and all of us feel bad for you on your behalf there. But the nice thing about League is that this race isn't the end all be all, right? You've got a couple more games here in the series and some great teammates who can try to keep up the momentum or pick you up after a loss, as the case may be. Do we have any of those games on the schedule yet?
Yeah, they're but tomorrow and Friday. So like
Yeah, looks
super early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, super early,
2 a.m.
5:10 a.m. or for Beer and I, 2:10 a.m. At night there here on the West Coast. We've got Julian Ninja versus Ramond in Cross Keys, I assume, there. And then on Friday at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time, Gamma versus Moogle Charm in Casual Boots. So plenty of time left in this series. I'd be surprised if this is a short series. Absolutely going to see a game 4. That would be my suggestion, and maybe even a game 5. You never know.
Fear. We talked about this, right? Like, as long as we get to a game 5, so we get to play more.
I'm actually ready for you guys to sweep. Go for the sweep.
Oh, dude, come on.
I would like to see,
let's play game 5, man.
I would like to see co-op retros.
I understand why you feel that way.
You like to play with
I have been exactly where you are mentally, where it's just like, you know what, I'm just done. I'm done, and it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, and you'll feel better tomorrow. So
I mean, I'm not even mad I lost. I'm not I'm not mad I lost. It's what it is. Like, beer's good, and it is what it is.
Hey, I wouldn't be where I'm at without you guys. Like you, Gamma, like Moogle, all these folks that that like brought me in early and got to play with you all early. So
yeah, just good luck, Moogle. Good luck, Julo.
Wow. Shots fired. As if
No.
no secret to no stranger to taking shots at Gamachu. So
No, listen, Gamma's our horse. It's hard for him to lose. It's 100%. Like he's just hard to beat. Good luck, Moogle. Please beat him. Just beat him. Listen, just put us out of our business. Let's just be done and have beats from the East win this league.
Well, GG's to both of you on a hard-fought race that I'm sure was not fun to play at all.
I didn't hate the seed.
Beer, did you check? Did you check? Because in the middle of the race, I checked to see if Swordless actually got rolled.
I did actually. Yeah, no.
Okay, so did I.
About 45 minutes in, I checked the meta of our seed, and I was just like, is Swordless in this meta? Because I wasn't sure. I legitimately was.
It really felt like it was accidentally Swordless.
Yep. I did. I did the same thing.
Well, like I said, GG's to both of you, and if your current preferences aside, I at least hope that we see more of this series and more people here in that co-op reference. That should be a blast. In Game 5 if we get that far.
Oh, that's a big if, right? That's an if.
It is. Like my league team went down one game. We came back and then dropped the last 2. But it is, you guys have your work cut out for you. But if there's any team in the league that I would bet on coming back from a 1-0 margin, you guys would be in the very small group of teams that I would still bet on down 1-0. So
Sure, but like, if anyone's going to beat Ramon and Cross Keys, it's going to be Julo, right? Like, let's just be honest. If someone's going to beat Ramon, it's going to be Julo.
That race is gonna be fun to watch tomorrow morning on VOD, because I'm not staying up until 2:10 to watch a Cross Keys race. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the rest, just to have fun playing League.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that I haven't played League in over 3 weeks. So I was kind of like, I think I was done.
So you sat out weeks 6 and 7, or
yeah,
or week 7 at least.
What's Swordless, and the last 2 weeks were like Swordless and co-op Randomizer, right?
So co-op Randomizer was 2 weeks long because of the Thanksgiving holiday
Yeah.
here in the States.
So it's been
right?
over a month. It's been so
Wow.
the 2 weeks. I didn't play week 6. I didn't play week 7. We had a week off. So, yeah, it was basically the league was over.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, it's been a minute, huh?
Yeah. So I'll just chalk it up to that. So
No, beer's good. That's why I lost. Beer's good.
beer is good.
Beer is good.
And homemade beer is good. All right. Well, thanks to both of you for joining us on the Restream for an interview today and for slogging through this one with us. And Clear Mouse, we've never done comms together before, and it was an absolute delight, as I thought it might be.
Oh no, yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a very fun race, except for the no boots, no sword part. And yes, we were also wondering if swordless was rolled. Pretty much the entirety of the seed before you finally found one at like the 50-minute mark or something.
Coming up on Speed Gaming for the rest of the day is a whole lot of things that aren't linked to the past randomizer. So stick around for those things. We've got a little bit of a slower day in terms of the league here today. Next match is that one that is very early tomorrow morning between these two teams, Jula Ninja versus Ramon in Sudaboots Cross Keys. So set your DVRs, but this isn't television. You don't get to do that. That's not how this works. Watch that VOD or stay up if it's if that's a reasonable thing for you to do, and plenty more league action coming tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you so much, Fear and Beer. If you go back and listen to this, we tried really hard to really enunciate the F and the B just so we could tell you guys apart. But it was a really it was a really good time. So thank you guys so much for I guess putting yourselves through the seat. It was quite the slog.
Yeah, thanks for the restream, and thanks for commenting and tracking, by the way.
Thanks for putting this on. I'm actually, this is one of my, I'm really looking forward to watching this one back because of just seeing different. There was kind of a lot of different decision points in the seed. So there was
a lot of divergence in this seed. You guys were not like you. I think you were both in a couple dungeons at the same time, but you took very different routes to get there. So.
Well, GG's and good luck. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, GG's, dude.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, thanks.
Spirit. Thanks to Cassidy Moen, who was our tracker for this race, hitting the buttons behind the scene. And thank you again to Clear Mouse for hopping on to do this race with me at the last second. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good.
And stick around for more Speed Gaming action on the Speed Gaming family of networks today. My name is Tyler Salt. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, have a great day. Yeah, as Fear and Beer said before, 5 a.m. is when Julo and Ramon play. I believe that's Sudaboots Cross Keys. So certainly should be quite a good time. So until then, yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit.